Ah, Chucky, horror movie's first manlet. Well, I already talked about him to an extent during my Traumathon video, so just go check that out if you don't really know who Chucky is. But to summarize, Chucky is this killer doll that loves to kill, and he's got a ton of movies, not all of them particularly great, but sure as hell scared a lot of kids back in the day, including me. So while conquering theaters for a short amount of time and conquering many sequels, Chucky was pretty much an icon for what, maybe close to a decade. So it's kind of surprising to think that, well, there's no Chucky video games, is there? I mean, there's a video game for just about any other horror movie out there that has a slasher or something or whatever, but no real Chucky video game. If only there was one. What would that be? Oh yeah, this game called Chucky Wanna Play. The game was first announced by Tick Games for PCs and consoles, and then it was later on announced as a Kickstarter campaign of October 2012. So being a Kickstarter, you could either think that this game was going to be a huge success, or one that had a large loss. Well, if you're watching this video, you know sure as hell that it did not win its Kickstarter goals. But before we get into that, I'd like to talk about today's sponsors. Raid Shadow. I'm just fucking kidding. Give me a fucking sponsor, for Christ's sake. No, but seriously, let's talk about the game itself, because there's not really much gameplay footage. Instead, there's this really cringy trailer made by the devs themselves that it's just really hard to watch. But boy, if you think that's hard to watch, wait till you see the gameplay. Now, I'm not trying to knock too hard on the gameplay itself or the footage that is shown. I mean, it is a prototype of a game, and this is 2011, so I don't expect the highest quality of gameplay. And also, Kickstarter was fairly young at the time, so nobody really had a successful story to go off of, so this is alright. But to be honest, judging solely on the trailer itself, I just don't have much confidence in these guys making a good game. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh on these indie dudes. Maybe they actually have a good product, and maybe Kickstarter will help them out. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, oh no. So they were asking for a grand slam total of nearly $1 million with $925,000. Getting only $585 out of 19 backers. Now, I'm not sure why it was so abysmal, but honestly, I think they were asking a little much. I mean, the game itself, while there's no real info on what it could have been, doesn't really seem that complicated. It is a game where you just sneak around and kill innocent civilians, pedestrians in very creative ways. I guess sort of like a stealthy Mad World kind of game, you know? Just be as creative as possible and just let the gore flow. But that vagueness might have been to the game's detriment, honestly. But the thing is that this game, it's not like it had no budget whatsoever, even though Tick Games isn't really known for making huge games before. I mean, these are the guys behind such great games such as Domino Master, Flower Stand Tycoon, Mahjong Tales, Ancient Wisdom, Wobbly Bobbly, Square Off, Gold Fever, Zane Moji, and Monopoly. So not really the kind of guys you'd expect a game of this caliber to come from. But as stated earlier, it wasn't like some sort of dead-end project. They had funding. They had the license to actually make the game. They had $500,000 to work on with this game, and you know, I'm sure they needed the money for other things, but $500,000 is a lot already. I mean, so many games get made just off of that budget alone. And I think maybe I'm just overreaching here, but wanting over $1 million for this game when your company is only known for these phone games, I mean, I think you should probably know your place and just go with what you can work with, to be honest. Well, it doesn't matter. You guys already know that this game's canceled. I mean, you're watching Boosemas, for Christ's sake. This game didn't make it very far. The only gameplay footage we do have is from the trailer itself of the initial Kickstarter video and some screenshots here and there. It's not the prettiest in the world, but considering that Friday the 13th had released just recently, and even though people don't really like it, the possibility is still there. Maybe they can just kickstart this all over again. Maybe they can actually make something with this game. I mean, hell, if Friday the 13th was successful enough, then maybe there's a surprise demand for Chucky. I mean, the reboot already came out, maybe they could jump on that. But it's unlikely. Again, these guys haven't really made anything after that abysmal project was not funded. It's highly unlikely that these guys are going to make anything for that license. But who knows, maybe you'll see Chucky for Dead by Daylight someday. I mean, Christ's sakes, everybody's already in there, so who's to say Chucky won't be there? But unfortunately, that's probably the most we'll ever get to see out of Chuck.